Ford coupe with a 9-inch bulletproof, got a zoomy exhaust and a tinted sunroof. He had a heavy Chevy big block, custom painted pro stock, call it the Rat with the bright blue mailbox. Blue was a wanker with a Leyland boat anchor, got a chain steering wheel and a pink bug catcher. A Siamese boar with a 4 on the floor. His wife caught him cheating, he don't drive it anymore. Mustang 302, kitted out with inner tube, painted pearl green, it was cold chew and spew. 4-bolt mains, you could see them by the stream. It flew down the track and took the wetbacks to their shame. Street dragging on the track, all the end of summer dance, dance, dance. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, all the end of summer dance, dance, dance. Dragging on the track, all the end of summer naps, naps, naps. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, all the end of summer naps, naps, naps. Bobby had a lead sled, painted deep blood red, loved it so much he took it home to bed. Fitted Cobra jets, stole window nets. I seen him down the back road, his girlfriend taking bets. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, all the end of summer dance, and that's that. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, all the end of summer dance, and that's that. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, all the end of summer dance, and that's that. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, all the end of summer dance, and that's that. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, oh, the end of summer dance, that's that. Cruising on the street, dragging on the track, oh, the end of summer dance, that's that.
The Summernats is brought to you by Street Machine magazine and proudly supported by Rare Spares. Is that all right, John? John? Late on Friday, the judges are gathering the finalists for one last look. By now, they've probably made up their minds, but with so many hotshot cars at this year's Summernats, it's best to be sure about the decisions. Now, there's an unusual car. It's a Leyland P76 4.7 coupe belonging to Joe Green. It's a real rare car. Howard Astor's had to work really hard to get his car this far, even though the car's still not quite finished. But from everybody's point of view, it was looking terrific, and he was going to be hard to beat, I figured. This is probably the only part of the Summernats that actually looks like an indoor show. Some of the cars are up on stands and some even put mirrors underneath, and they even rope some of the cars off. But mostly it's for a chance for the judges to see the cars for the last time and for the people to see who the top contenders are. Fitzy and family are flat out. And in fact, this car here, this is Fitzy's main competition in Super Street. This orange 55 Chevy belongs to Colin Fraser from the ACT, and it was a real popular car at the Summernats. It had only just hit the streets, and it was beautiful. Now this car's really different. There's Frank Rotano's 69 Vet. He usually picks up an award. Of course, the Summernats wouldn't be the same without Mick Rahn's convertible Thunderbird. This BMW is one of the cars in the competition class. Belongs to a solicitor in Melbourne apparently. But BMs really need a horsepower injection. Now here's a tough car. Look at the aluminium work in the back of it. That was beautiful. It's one of the new cars from the Taverna chassis shop in Melbourne. It's 41 Willys. Also on that night there was the presentation of Street Machine of the Year award. The readers of Street Machine magazine reckon that Craig Parker Falcon was the best thing in the magazine in the last year. He picked up a cheque for 10 grand too, which is not a bad effort. Well, that was just a taste of what's to come. Like any big motorsport event, there's now a need for qualifying. In fact, if you don't get your entry in before the Summernats start, you mightn't even get a start in the driving events. To the majority of people, the most exciting part of the event is the burnout. But sometimes it's a bit hard to figure out the rules. Qualifying takes place on Friday and you've got 1 minute to make serious smoke. Once you get in the final on Sunday, you then got 3 minutes to make it all happen. There's 4 judges and they're looking for instant smoke from the start and no breaks in the continuity of the smoke. If you show good steering control as the car wanders along the track towards the donut pad, then that'll up the points if you spin out a few times and go in either direction and maybe even do a bit of a reverse, then they'll even like that. The big deal though is to blow the tyres and the crowd go crazy. If you manage both at once, then you'll be real hard to beat. Waving to the crowd and steering with your nose or anything else seems to have an effect too. It's all pretty easy, really.
In that style for a lot of years, Peter.
Yep.
I'm not sure it was always that 351 Cleveland power, but a previous winner from, I think, a couple of years back, right on the finish line.
He'd be happy with that.
A 7.66.
7.66, so he slowed down 0.16.
Slowed down a little bit.
But it may be just enough. This vehicle's like a funny car with a 32 Ford coupe body on it. Big chrome zoomy vibe.
This was the fastest of the street-going vehicles with a 7.44 elapsed time previously.
Two lockups, still stopped it on the line.
What a mean-looking piece of machinery, the hot rod. 7.5, little slower than his previous time. 7.594 against his previous time was 7.442. Now here's Vincent Westphal from Glen Waverley in Melbourne in the little yellow Gemini TE with a 13B rotary engine in it. Built it, had the car for 7 years. Built most of it himself, and
He ran a 722.
722
earlier.
and amazed everybody. $157, the entrant number for the Gemini.
Couple of million revs off the line.
I love the way the car jumps in the air on the upshift from 1 to 2.
Oh, wow.
Good one, boy. Good run. Excellent drive by Vincent Westphal.
A 716.
716, getting better.
Gee whiz.
7.16. That is really, really trick. This must be the girls section. That's what Ronnie Whelan was trying to tell us. This next three are the girls. Dropping it on the finish line, just edging it in there.
That's the Gray family Corolla for Marulbark in Victoria. It's a 1300 big block, they claim.
1300cc big block.
Try not to get neutral this time. 350
Oh, this is Debbie in Bam Bam's panel band. Debbie is a local ACT girl and has borrowed Bam Bam's West Australian panel van just to compete in this.
And got a little bit carried away under brakes.
Just went too far through, I think.
Okay, the winner of the Go to Woe today at the 5th Street Machine Magazine Summernats is entrant number 157, Vincent Westphal, in a time of 7.16, 1980 yellow Gemini.
I'd just like to thank all the competitors. It was pretty tough out there today. And see us all next year.
Bart Simpson. He was christened Craig, but I'm sure everyone calls him Bart, from Mount Gravatt, Queensland, in his VG Valiant. Got a 440 Chrysler wedge motor in it. Okay, this is
There's
Craig Smith.
A good example of instant smoke, a good
Yes.
example of lots of smoke. Our driving style and control will depend on the continuity of smoke, but this is a good example in the Speed Pro Engine Parts Burnout competition.
I suppose one disadvantage of the tailwind is that the driver can't really see where he's going, so we might get a few fence crunches.
Well, we don't want
Moving
to see
into
any
the donut
guardrail
area now.
kisses, but Craig down there into the donut pad now.
What donut pad?
We are in the tower, in the bus here. You must forgive us at times because we mainly watch things through our TV monitor for the purpose of making this film, but quite often all we can see is a big blank grey screen. Craig coming out of the smoke now, so give him a cheer down there on the donut pad. You've got to be good in all sections. You've got to be good making smoke in a straight line. You've also got to be good with your actions on the donut pad. Lots of donuts will not win you the burnout competition. Lots of straight line work won't win you the burnout competition. So you've got to make lots of smoke. You've got to make smoke continuously. You've got to do it in a straight line, and you've got to do it on the donut pad. That's what it's all about in the Speed Pro Engine Parts burnout competition.
I mean, this is only early in the competition, but that's a pretty strong run.
Actually, we had 6 judges appointed this year. Previously, we had only a few, but we have 6 separate judges giving average scores. So a good run for Craig Smith to start out what is going to be a fantastic burnout competition.
He's shredded it.
He's
And
shredded it.
Shibu, big lump start to
Both of
Blew
them.
them both.
Both back tyres.
Double barrel.
A good round of applause for Craig Smith. And that's what's
Double
all about.
barrel.
Now, James Saragas, I believe, in his Cortina from New South Wales, from Roseville. 351 Cleveland for horsepower.
Probably another Bob Pennell kit.
Yep, and he's here with a crowd of 40 people. Having a great time at this year's
He's
Summernats.
upshifted it. Because that's a good trick. If you can get it up into a higher gear, the wheels
Keeps them
spin that much
spinning a lot
faster.
harder. Actually, a good trick, particularly with automatic transmissions, to start them off in second gear, as you'll spin them in the water quite easily. In particular, a little light car like this Cortina, you can jack it up off the tyres pretty fast. And he's down into the burnout pad already. I think you're going to find a lot of guys who've got a bit more slow motion action in the start line, in a straight line, but James Saragas doing a really good job. All we can see is the tail of a Cortina bob out of a cloud of smoke occasionally. But what a view you must be getting from the top end of the side stand. Now, Peter, the interesting addition of the new deep end grandstand is a good one, but we didn't anticipate that the wind will be blowing this way. So those folks in the deep end grandstand, boy oh boy, they're really going to have to be breathing through their hankies for a little while, the way the wind direction is at the moment. And just a little bit of gentle sunshine coming through now to warm things up a bit, make things a little more pleasant out there. But what a great run by James Saragas. I'm glad I'm just a rotten old announcer and not a judge in this, Peter. There's no doubt about our camera crew who they really are, a bunch of thrill seekers.
Brave men. Brave, brave men.
And of course, the cameraman's assistant, apart from making sure that he doesn't get the cables tangled in anything, a little bit known as the cameraman's angel, because the cameramen are very intent on what they do, and the assistant's job is to see the cameraman doesn't come to any grief in the process of getting what he needs to get on film. And that was the case last night, Peter.
Well, absolutely. They saved them from a lot of damage.
They saved them from a lot of trouble last night. Coming now, Kieran Nugent from Singleton in New South Wales in the Midnight Blue XD Falcon, 351 powered, and he's into it straight away from the starting line.
Car's only been registered and on the road for 2 weeks, taking him 18 months to build it. So here he is at the Summernats in the burnout competition.
Well, if the car gets this every 2 weeks of its life, Peter, it's not going to be... right into it.
Learned a few tricks in his 2 weeks on the street, Milton.
You're not wrong. I think the boy's done this before he got this car on the road.
The girls are mixing with the guys in this.
This is it. Sitting here and just hazing the tyres off. You can see the heaps of gravel and molten rubber and all kinds of drama coming out of the back of these.
Sticking all over camera lenses.
Because the reason why we asked them to keep moving just slightly, is you don't say that you don't dig holes in the asphalt. We can see there now a little smouldering pellets of molten rubber coming off the tyre and lying all over the ground and sticking all over the front of cameramen's uniforms and stuff like that there. But Gay really doing a good job of keeping both those back tyres cooking on the Monaro. Steve Titcombe from Wangaratta in Victoria in a 350 Chevy powered Headcraft built engine in this car. Car's been registered for 3 weeks and he's about to do his damnedest to wear it out right away in the Speed Pro Engine Parts Summernats Burnout competition.
You must get one of these guys to reset their speedo at the beginning of a burnout to see how many miles or kilometres they do during a burnout.
Trip meter would be interesting,
Yep,
wouldn't
trip meter would be a telltale on the tacho. Would be interesting on a few of them too.
The wind's changed. Are you still there, Peter?
Where are you, Milt? Milt.
I'm over here. Oh, wow. Yes, well, gee, that was...
Oh, there you are.
Yes, there we were, back out of the clouds. Gee, I didn't hear it.
He's lost the tyre. He's popped one.
He's thrown a bit of the belt off.
Well,
It's spinning pieces of belt, and there's spinning pieces of belt from both tyres now. So Ahmed really practiced with this.
he's not easing off.
He's
got sparks off the right-hand side.
There you go. This is where you go. They've got to go to the pop. The right hand one's pop.
And the left.
Pop. Both tyres. Put your hands together. That's a beauty. That has to be one of the best runs so far. So we're going to put Ahmed. He's flogging him to death. I mean, what more could you do? The man's going to run off on bare rims. Then will it be brake drums? How do you know? My golly gee. So there, to my rating, the best run to date. Ahmed the Crazy Turk.
I've got to agree with that.
You've got to agree with that. Like, he's got nothing left and he's still into it. I mean to say.
Gave a quick wave to Mum on the telly earlier.
Television, that's it. But as far as leaning on the car the hardest, and we've just passed it coming up to the halfway point. So we've got instant, we've got constant, we've got most, and we've got style. As far as getting into it the hardest, this guy I think is just into it a little bit harder than Ahmed. Just see whether he can hang in there, do it as well, make as much smoke, and blow some tyres maybe. Come on, you Ford fans up there. It's about time you got your Ford loyalties into order and supported some of your drivers. David Yates from Royalston in New South Wales in a Ford. So some Ford freaks out there. Let's hear it for David Yates. This is one tough car. 454 cubic inch Chevy powered, built by the owner. Owned it for a few years. This is the first time he's entered, and the car's only been running for 6 months in this particular form.
And he's not hanging about either, Milt.
Well, he's
given it his all.
You got a 454 Chev, you've got every excuse not to hang around. Very quickly down to the donut pad area. No, he's coming back, chasing the camera crew back across the fence.
This boy's good.
Scott Rendell from Geelong in Victoria. In a little TD Cortina with a 289 on board, a baby Windsor engine. A little Windsor, but only pushing a little car. Only pushing a little car, but one of those good, reliable little 289 Windsors. This is a tough run, and to this point, at halfway through the straight section, this is equal first place for this section of the track so far. So this is a tough car. So keep your eye on this. A 308 engine pushing this Holden, making all this smoke. A good, reliable General Motors product and a good all-steel Australian car. Remember, when cars were steel, cars were real.
Rock and roll. Been a long time since we did a stroll. Let me get back, let me get back. Baby, where I come from. Yeah. Been a long time, been a long time, been a lonely time. In the moonlight, LinkedIn vows that just can't work right. Carry me back, carry me back, carry me back. Baby, where I come from.
back up the one-way street. First to reverse, and it drifts back past our camera then. Boy, those guys earn their money out here. Street Machine is the sport of the real people, and he's over there. He's got himself a good corner now in the donut pad, so don't bend it, boy. Just smoke them up, but don't hurt that nice white band.
Changes forward to reverse, back to forward again without dropping the
Smoke up, or even comes out of the smoke. Oh! Wheel it go. Those when they go straight to the way the cameraman turns up. I know, we've done that. One's really wide, very strong car. A 79 Ford ZG Fairlane. Watch Deliverance again, I'll tell you what, it's real. Like a pig, helmet? Like a pig, helmet. Ding, 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 ding. You want to come to do it next weekend, Bill? I think so. Look at that smoke.
He must have a secret compound with those tyres, Bill.
He has a good look at a driver control as well. This man is a master at what he's doing.